Lesotho is like a jungle. If you survive in this jungle, you can survive anywhere in the world. When I got shot at, I decided, let me just change direction. I got flat broke, and went back home. Sold my car. My son was kicked out of school. I almost lost my wife.
Hello, Dumelang, Kgotsong. Welcome from wherever you're watching. This is the Unboxed and Unfiltered Podcast, and it is real conversations of luck. Thank you so much for tuning in, and an even warmer welcome to all our new subscribers. But if you're only just tuning in now, please do subscribe to our YouTube channel and turn on the notification bell. For people that will be listening to this from Skyalpha HD, our username on YouTube is Unboxed and Unfiltered. We're well on the way to 100 subscribers, and only you can get us there. Also follow us on Facebook and on TikTok. Our username on both platforms is Unboxed and Unfiltered. And remember that new episodes air on Skyalpha HD every last Thursday of the month before we release them on YouTube. Skyalpha HD is an online radio platform that we're proudly in collaboration with, and you can get links for streaming our episodes on their website from our Facebook page. So please do follow us for that and even more updates. As always, I'm your host, Mahloji Macheta, and today I'll be having a conversation with a man whose music is a perfect embodiment and epitome of our cultural heritage. Data Selimo, how are you?
Can't complain.
You can't complain. Yeah. I'd like to just start by thanking you for being here with us today, doing this episode with us. I'm very, very thankful.
It's a pleasure.
It's a pleasure. Can you please start by introducing yourself? Tell us who Selimo Thabane is, what he's all about, where he's from, how we got here today.
Ke Selimo Thabane. Ke Selimo wa seretse wa tshiu wa kanono. Kanono wa katiba wa kadijo. Ke le gwagwa ka seboko. Ha eso ke masiano ke mmajakaneng ke sefate sa metso ya difate tsa qolaqwe ba go botabothe. So how I got into music. Okay. I've always been an entertainer for the bigger part of my life. Ke gola ho tloha high school ne ke le majafan. Back in the days, jive was the main thing. So, Fan, and I remember in the early 90s or mid 90s, me and some friends of mine, both Exile Manyofi. I don't know if you know Exile Manyofi. We went to the late Eddie Boni. Okay. So there was a group from Hatamai that was doing quite back then, so we went there. So, but we bounced. So my brother was doing quite Lena, so I went to my brother's, and that's where we started. My brother TK. So we started Katlong, but we never released though. So as life went on, life will take you from pillar to post, Fast forward, went to tertiary. From tertiary, I swear when I was in tertiary, I thought my life would be politics and nothing else. Because I was a very good politician in tertiary. And started working at VA University, where I was a student before, and then got a permanent job there. Decided to quit my job and go for music. And fast forward, I'm here.
What drove you to back to music? Because you thought your life would be politics, but there was a shift. So what made that shift occur?
I guess it's divine. When something is meant for you, it will find you. Yeah. And it will find you, provided you're actually also praying and looking for your lane. In your race, you can run a race. As long as you're not running in your lane, you'll be number one, but you never win. So you need to run in your own lane. So I guess it found me.
It found you.
Yeah.
What did you want to be when you grow up, like as a kid? Was it always music?
I just wanted to be in the leadership position.
Okay.
Be it music, but somewhere in the forefront. I just wanted to be in the forefront. I wanted to be in the limelight. I wanted to be there.
Yeah. Yeah, I wrote some of my questions here so that I remember everything. So you got into music, right?
Yeah.
You were very interested in Kwaito initially. So what got you into manga jazz? Why that genre?
Initially, look, Kwaito was the in thing like hip hop is now, you know. Kwaito was the in thing back then. So I grew up ke kolobetswa ka Kwaito, you know, ngesizulu they say papatisa nye Kwaito, you know. So Kwaito was the in thing then. So I think it was Kwaito and reggae. My brothers used to listen to reggae music, you know. But as I decided to take music head on, I wanted an identity. And I honestly wanted something that speaks to me as a Mosotho young man, to something that from the time I start doing it to infinity, it will be identified as Selimo. So I decided I'm going to do manga jazz. But then manga jazz is live. It's live music. So I didn't have enough money to record live music. So I did demos of manga, and then I introduced myself in the music arena, Kwaito. So hence my first album, Dices and Tokens. So, because Kwaito is just a laptop, kind of like this.
Yes, definitely.
And then you hit it right there. So that's what I did. But already I had demos of manga jazz in my wardrobe, you know. So it was just a question of getting funds to produce and record that music properly. Yeah.
So your first album, which was a Kwaito album, was just a way of introducing yourself
Sure.
to the world as a music artist.
Yeah.
So what was that first album like? What did it represent for you? Did it have any meaning, or was really just an introduction?
You know, it really had a meaning because, look, I can't hide it. Rooted down in me, you know, that's basically who I am. And so also, had I not started, I don't think I would have been here. Because you see, that album, I recorded that album, and when I was launching the album, I remember I borrowed money from a friend of mine, 150K. Yaba kebeasa sasaka pani. So it didn't do well. I lost so much. I think I did 13 grand and I had borrowed 150K. And site you know, and because I wanted it back, I tried all means. And I think then from there, everything was leading into another who felt like a friend of mine called Jason. I was shot at back home. I was still doing politics. I was shot at, and then I had to flee to Exile in South Africa. So when I was in South Africa, we were chilled with my friends and were listening to my demos, which is manga jazz. So Jason says to me, "Who's this?" And I said, "We're listening to Mahdi." And I said, "It's me." He says, "Why don't you record this? This is too expensive, man." So how much you think it is? I just thumbs up the price and said 50K. He said, "Damn, that's too steep."
Yeah.
The following day, he came early in the morning. Anyway, they would leave in the morning, come back in the morning. You know, boys being boys. Yeah. He came in the morning, and I remember they knocked at the door already. They were making noise. I just unlocked and went back to bed. He slapped me, kamorao, on my back. And a few years later, I woke up and he puts a 50 grand and says, "Record this thing." So that's how it happened. And I knew there and there that this is divine. It's got nothing to do with me. Yeah.
So you talk of being in exile in South Africa.
Yeah.
What were the conditions around that occurrence? How did it come about?
Soldiers were running amok back then. That's the times of the former General Kamudi. And the political status was crippled. And I happened to be very vibrant and vibrant against his actions. And that got me a boot. So yeah.
Okay. Talking about how you lost your sight, how the first album was not a success, what other challenges can you say you faced in trying to build your music career before you actually got to this point? And how did you overcome them?
I got flat broke, and went back home. I went back home, sold my car. My son was kicked out of school. Bangs were chasing me. I have a property in Vanderbilt Park. Vale bankman on a lelekisa, and I couldn't afford it. I almost lost my wife. She was not in support of the
music
thing, leaving a permanent job for
music.
Yeah. I don't think you would either.
I wouldn't. I just said yeah because I understood, because you're leaving stability for insecurity.
Yeah, that's a woman for you, So those were the challenges, and but I decided I'm gonna do this. And fast forward, I recorded the album. Homo was not part of the album. It was born on stage. It wasn't part of the album at all. I recorded Kodiamalla. Kodiamalla was the song because it was featuring Tate Tsepo. It was playing on Lesedi. The record was not released as yet, but the single was already playing. That's how I got my first gig at Dixon Park Vereniging. And I got to perform there, and that's where Homo was born on stage.
I cannot believe it was born on stage.
It was born on stage. It was born on stage. So I went on stage. I remember that day. I was put between Vusi Mahlasela and Ringo. That was my first performance ever.
How did you feel? Were you not nervous?
I had stomach cramps. I had serious stomach cramps, but nevertheless, I know that. I know that for sure. I don't need anybody to tell me. So I just decided this is my music. Nobody knows about me. So like a fumbler, nobody would know whether
you're fumbling or not. Yeah.
So I went on stage and I was stuck on stage. I remember I couldn't remember the repertoire. So I was doing it. You call it Sana Marina, and Kinkile Levetlaela Le Maripompo. So Basotho started identifying themselves amongst the crowd. I mean, Segileza Maripompo, Senseki Toka and Medidita melody, and then I had forgotten the repertoire. I kept on saying, they kept on screaming, they kept on screaming. I didn't know where to start. And the bass guitar guy, Mlangeni, somehow sensed that he's stuck. And then he pulled a TK Ziman Bosch track. And the crowd stood up, and I kind of like went, take it down. So out of nowhere, I sang Home. And the crowd responded. The band couldn't play because they didn't know
it's
the
a
song.
new song. Yeah.
I kept signaling to the band at my back, but they were like. And then I went to Mlangeni. The bass guitar guy told him, that's a line. He pulled the bass. I went to the drum guy. That was Jobo back then. I told him, that's where the drum kick comes in. He rolled and came in, and the song was born on stage.
I feel like it's truly divine.
Yeah,
that is evidence of that fact.
Yeah.
Wow, that is so beautiful with you just narrating it. Cool. I wonder how it was watching it, witnessing it.
Yeah, that was the longest performed song, and the crowd was responding. And I was trying to make a verse on stage, and then I would be saying, I couldn't even hear myself. The crowd was busy. I mean, the crowd was really busy singing the chorus. And from there we went straight to studio. Yeah.
Oh, was born on stage. It was born on stage. So let's talk about your latest album.
Yeah.
What made you go with the idea of a double album?
I think I had taken so long. I had taken too long to release. I think 2016 to now, to this year. So I thought I should give my fans something worth the waiting. So I thought, let me just pull two albums. And again, this stack, there's just a lot of them. So I thought, right now, we're already working on the next album. And already there's just a lot of them. So I thought, let me just take 2 albums out so that I can focus on one album, say 18-track album, you know. Yeah. And hardcore manga album, you know. Yeah.
Oh, I cannot wait for it, to be honest. I mean, we're already enjoying these 2 that I already have. So the titles.
Yeah.
Fearwan.
Yeah.
Nagalakak.
Yeah.
What is the meaning behind those words for particularly these albums?
Okay. Disc 1 is Fearwani. My first manga album was Timollo, meaning the beginning. Fearwan is a comma.
Yeah.
So Nagalakaka is the story. So I'm actually writing a sentence, the beginning, and then take a comma. The story is about manga, which is Nagalakaka. It's about manga jazz, our war songs, you know. So I'm trying to say, this is my story. It's about my war songs. So I'm taking a breather, but I'm telling you a story about our war songs, which is Nagalakaka. Yeah.
And I love that the feel and says that it's not the end.
No,
there's
it's
still
not the
more
end.
coming.
Yeah, there's still more coming.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. So, have you ever made a mistake that affected your music career? Go put it in shambles, and it was something you had to recover from.
Not that I remember. Honestly, so far, I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the biggest life lesson that you can share with us, especially with the experiences that you've narrated, you know, in your music journey and your music career?
I think you should stop praying for things to happen. You should rather pray for your God to help you identify your lane and help you identify your seasons. Because in every man's life, there are 4 seasons. There's time to plow. There's just 4 seasons. Maria, Sabula, Autumn, Spring, you know. And every season is meant for something in your life. If your dry season is your winter, it's your dry season. But what the devil does is to keep you busy. Ka season ya holema, ibe you focusing on something else. Kapo walema. How kotula, instead of you keeping something for dry seasons, which alepeo. You understand? And when the dry season comes, it becomes too long for you to absorb. And you end up being absorbed in that poverty of the dry season, and when the next season comes, you can't even see it. So I think you need to pray to see the seasons in your life. You also need to pray to see your lane, because it doesn't matter what you do. As long as you're not in your lane, it's not going to work for you. I don't care who says what. As long as you're not in your lane, it's not going to work for you. So the most important thing is everybody in this world is meant to do something, to be something. So just know what you meant to do and pray to see that. Well, that's what I think.
I definitely agree with that. There's Eastern philosophy that I follow is called Taoism. They say everyone has their nature, that li. So we should all express that naturalness or whatever we're called to do. But what I'm wondering is, at that time that you took that risk of leaving a permanent job, financial security, you risked that. Did you have this clarity that you have now, this faith, or, were you just stumbling along? Did you wonder if you would succeed?
I wasn't as strong as now, faith-wise, but somehow I just believed I'm going to succeed. And I felt everybody wants to work in South Africa back here at home, and people who went with me tertiary will tell you how politically good I was. They will tell you. Hence, I even worked there. Never had an ID. Worked there and got a permanent job. But I left that because of passion. And faith, no, not as I have now. But you know what I always say? I always say a clear example of faith. It'll probably help you and the viewers. Just pony, right? And then you plow it. You've got no clue what's happening. No clue. But because you have faith, you water it every day. With hope that one day it'll. But you've got no clue what's happening. What's happening at that time, hence it's divine. Nobody can explain it. It's water, mobu, and then all of a sudden it crops up. And once it does, you keep watering it. You take care of it, you nurture it until ibaleshaka. And then you most guarantee it's going to multiply.
Definitely.
So all we have to do is take your dream, plow it, and then believe and water it and nurture it. Then God will do his thing.
God will do the rest.
He will definitely do the rest. It's guaranteed he will do the rest.
Oh, this is so inspirational, honestly.
Yeah.
I get your message. It's about taking that first step.
You have to. If you don't plow, you will not get maize. You will definitely not get it. Utapela from Matsonga, you understand? So you have to take the first step and then have faith. Because you can plow it, but the results this is going to happen. And the action is already applying towards this talent you've plowed. You understand? Yeah.
So let's talk about Selimo.
Yeah.
It's the song, quite honestly.
Yeah.
So personally, I don't understand them. So to say in depth. I understand that someone is being accused of something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So tell us the story behind it. What it was like working with Omali Temba, coming up with the song, the storyline. How did it come about? All of that.
Okay. Stepesa banaba fokutu still. I wanted something along those lines. I then called who's this? How do I forget? Oh my God. Smoke Pit.
Okay.
I called him and said, look, there's I'm looking for something along those lines. He did something, messed it up, came back, said, no, until we got it right. When we got that right, I said, yeah, that's the beat I'm looking for. Work on that. He worked on that. And then I then got the bass. I wanted the bass that speaks to the hook. You understand? So I called a guy who plays my lead guitar, who also plays a bass called Maqashe. Maqashe is in SA. He plays bass for but a lot of the records that's Mino Fam. Okay. He's the man behind the bass. So I gave him that, and then he played the bass. Now the concept of the song is a mistaken identity. You understand? So this guy busumbu fitile ne ke sa khale. So I maponsa so o batla go no go betse e le gore he ha ona alibi. You understand? So ne ke sa khale ne ke na le fusitsa ka bo magalema. I've got alibis. It's not a lie. Bo bolai, bo July, bo bolao. these are my boys, so I got alibis. E re bontate taba tsa lona di le gotho ha di na tshobotsi ya ka di a tshegema, meaning taba tsa lona ha di a hlaka, they don't look or sound like me. Ebile they are weak, di a tshegema. Le mpotsa ka Motselo ke a mo tseba ke mo tsebile. Yeah, I know the guy, but I don't know what the guy does on his time alone. But you understand? So this guy is basically trying to say, I mean, do be it as it may, but ha ke ka go loya ntwe tsena tse le di buang. And then re khahlane a khahla batho ka kopana mahlwele a hlole batho twa re dilwana mela mi fetana sebakeng tantang khawa ke le go le hlole batho seta. So basically he's just trying to say, really, now that I'm gonna have to fight my way out of this. So khahlana mahlwele a hlole batho, mahlwele meaning se ke le madi mela mi se fetana sebakeng. So basically vele se relwana. You understand? So that's basically what the song is about. So Mali comes in on the same line and hammers the track. Yeah.
His verse was amazing.
He was amazing. I mean, I honestly loved it. O'Malley, I called him and told him, man, I want to feature you on a track. He's like, hot money. I've been waiting for this call. You know, he tells me, he says, look, I've always listened to your music and you don't know what this means to me. So I tell him, okay, this is the beat, run on this. He says, my brother, I really like it. And then he runs on the beat. He goes, he records. I wasn't there. I was in Ireland then. So he records and then he sends me, okay, my cousin sends me the beat and then I'm like, okay, this is good. I tell him, no, this is, he says, no, but it's something. No, this is okay. So I did the track O'Malley and hey, the song is amazing.
Honestly, and it's different from his usual sound, but he killed it.
Yeah,
he killed it.
He did. I don't want to lie, he did.
Definitely. So let's talk about you being in Ireland, right?
Yeah.
Your diplomacy. Can you tell us more about that? Your career in politics lately?
Yeah. Well, because I've always been in politics, I guess that's what everybody should do.
In one basket.
You know. So when COVID came, it really struck hard on us, especially the entertainment sector. So I got deployed at Klerksdorp as a consul general. And I want to believe I did good in Klerksdorp. And then I was transferred to Durban. Same post.
Before you continue,
what's
a consular general?
It's a post, just like you have an ambassador or a high commissioner. Okay. Ambassador, high commissioner is one of the same things. Just who or not. You know, if you're under who, high commissioner. If not, then an ambassador. Then there are these positions. There's minister, council, and then there's consular general. So we have consuls in South Africa because the number of Basotho, the population of Basotho is vast. Okay. You have a high commission in Pretoria, and then you have consulates. Oh. So you have a consulate in Johannesburg, and then you have Klerksdorp, and then you have Durban. But Klerksdorp was not a consulate as yet. Okay. But then I was overseeing Klerksdorp. So you cover certain areas, you know. Yeah.
Okay. So we've talked about your career in music, your career in politics. I'd like us to play a little game. It's called the Unboxed Unfiltered Q&A. It's just an opportunity for our viewers to get to know you a little bit better, your perspectives on life and just different topics, So my first question will start with something a bit light. What's your favorite meal?
It's a funny one. People who know me are actually gonna laugh at this. Nama. So I'm not a starch person.
Okay.
I rarely eat starch. So normally I order nama kanama tse fapaneng. That's basically what I do. So ke rata nama e pheuweng, like pizza ya madipotwana and different sorts of meats. That's me. So langa bila no ka pao nama ka nama. That's
I should know that what should be served.
yeah.
So how are you different to the person that you were 5 years ago?
More faith. Spiritually, I've grown. Well, 3 steps. Musically, I've grown. Career-wise, I've grown. I'm really different, but I guess facially,
You're still the same.
I'm still the same.
Yeah, you look the same.
Yeah, I'm still the same. Yeah.
Describe yourself in 5 words. How can you describe yourself in 5 words or 3?
I smile most of my life, and I don't put my nose in people's business, and I don't want people putting their noses in my business. That's me.
What do you think is the value of minding your own business?
Peace of mind. Peace of mind, which is, peace of mind is the best thing you can ever ask for, because if you don't know, you don't know. It's not your issue. It's not your issue. Yeah.
What are you the most proud of in your life? Whether it's an achievement, a character trait, anything. What are you the most proud of?
The project I'm building right now. I started a project when I started music. The first money I made, I bought back my site. Yeah.
I love that.
On the very same side, I'm building an entertainment center. It will be able to host about 1,000 people. It has everything you can think of as an artist. There's stage, there's sound, there's your pools, there's your jacuzzi, there's your bars, there's everything. So I'm on my 7th year now, and it's really coming through. I think I've never done something like that for myself. Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to it, quite honestly,
Most
to the completion of the project.
Somewhere around end of the year or early next year, we'll launch the project. Yeah.
We've talked about something that you're proud of.
Yeah.
Do you have any regrets?
Yeah. Quite emotional. Some of them I really don't have power over. The passing of my parents, in 1 year, and that my mother passed away, I wasn't there. I also regret doing the course that I did at varsity, because I think I should have just went for music straight away. But I don't know if I had went for music, things would have turned the way they
did, yeah.
And I regret that I didn't start earlier musically, because I think if I did, I would be way far. But the most regret is the fact that our country does not embrace arts. Lesotho is like a jungle. If you survive in this jungle, you can survive anywhere in the world. So, if you look at the artists we have in Lesotho, and compare them to artists in, say, South Africa, it's just a question of platform. They have platform, we don't.
Yeah.
But if we were to share the same platform equally,
will probably even shine more.
That's what I'm saying. So I regret the fact that we are still here. We kind of like 20 years back,
behind everyone
else. When we had our freedom prior to everyone, when we've been in coalition governments before everyone, when we've went through a lot before everyone, but we are still here.
We're still behind. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in as much as I asked that question, like I said, I'm someone that explores different philosophies and religions because they all have something to offer.
Yeah.
And I think fundamentally, God is the same. Whichever direction you approach God from. But what Taoism also teaches is that if something was not meant to happen, then it wouldn't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sometimes we don't see the value of things. Like you're saying, you wish you wouldn't have done the course that you did, but you still don't know if things would have turned out the way that what if you did just do music, but it didn't work out the way that it did now? So, I think it's okay coming to terms with the regrets that we have, but I also think it's also important to embrace that aspect. Perhaps there are things that the best way that they can be in these conditions. So what experience can you say changed you, altered your perspective about life, any kind of experience, whether it changed you positively or negatively?
Quite a few. When I got shot at, I decided, let me just change direction. I'm going for music. And this politics and vibrancy thing, it's gonna kill me. The birth of my son, the responsibility it came with, and having to love another human being beyond yourself. You understand? It really meant a lot. The passing of my parents, and then the passing of my brother. Those, I don't want to lie to you. But then the other one is 2017 Letofe. That performance at Letofe 2017 was a limp. It was a turn to the right direction for me. I mean, everything had been happening quite good, but when that performance came out the way it did, I knew I was on the right track, and I knew I was not gonna go back. Yeah.
I watched the performance on YouTube. You can feel the energy, just through a phone screen. Yeah, it was it. It was it. We've talked about the losses you've suffered.
Yeah.
What's the biggest betrayal you've suffered at the hands of someone?
I won't mention names though.
Yes, definitely.
When I was in tertiary, I'm a kind of guy who loves when I love. When you become a friend of my own, I really put you close to my heart. I felt like I was too close, or I put people too close to my heart who did not reciprocate. And when things turned the other way, I started realizing that they don't have my back as I had theirs. So that I really forget that moment. I really forget that moment. I don't think the others, it's okay. It's okay.
What do you think is one thing that people get wrong in romantic relationships?
Communication.
Please expound on that.
Look, relationship is about communication. Whether it's a no strings attached, whether it's relationship cannot be on perception. Once there's perception, something is gonna go wrong. Whether it's we start from this kind of relationship and maybe it will develop into something, whether we want, it must be clear from the onset. once it's not clear from the onset, something bad is bound to happen there. You understand? When somebody thinks, I love this guy, and I love this guy more than any other thing, and maybe the guy is like, yeah, I'm just here for it. You know?
For fun,
you
passing
understand?
time, yeah.
That's where the problem is. But if we sit down and communicate, I'm here for fun. What are you here for? So that the other part is like, okay, well, I wasn't for fun, but then it's okay. I'll be here for fun.
At least
or
we bear hand.
I can't sign for fun. So communication, I think that's the key word.
Definitely.
Yeah.
What is one thing you think women don't understand about men? Most women generally.
Men don't want to be owned. Men don't want to be owned.
Please expound on that.
Look, I don't know of any man who wants to be owned. Men will love you, right? But men want you to let them be. You understand? One, if you're the one making money, it doesn't mean you. Monna ke seriti. If you take that from a man, you've lost a man. It doesn't matter what you understand? Respect him. Let the mistake is high. And every time that guy thinks of leaving you or doing or cheating on you or whatever, as long as at ebahore mofuta o fumanang wa tlhompho wena la ha o foseditse na kwa mofuta o feng ha ona monata o hlompha ho feta that man mo performele mo tlatse strata mo o tla mmona. Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
So let's flip it around. What do you think men don't understand about women?
I think we don't understand that basadi ke batho ba ratang, are emotional beings. So because we're not, we think they're not. You understand? So we there and we think, we just here until they are emotionally attached. You understand?
Yeah.
And what we also misinterpret is the fact that women are the most dangerous species if you mess up with. Yeah. And fact is, 0.1% of women will act without reacting. What do I mean? Most of them do things because they're reacting to what we have done to them. Yeah. That's a fact. We always mess up. We most of the time. I mean, if you check with Labonora, so it's a little percentage, yeah, basadi who just mess up and mess up a guy who's just a good guy. Yeah.
Definitely. Have you ever been mugged or hijacked?
Yeah. I mean, at my age, I would be fortunate. But that was in SA. So I played for the first team year school soccer. So the stadium is, say maybe half a kilo, not half a kilo, maybe 300, 400 meters from campus. Okay. So you actually go out of campus and walk to the stadium. So I was coming from the stadium to campus, and that was back in it. Kind of was about Ericsson, you know. Yeah. So phone disappears. So you're on your phone. You don't even know what you do on your phone because there's no social media. But you just want people to see.
That
so
you're on your phone.
It was a bit late. So I'm on my phone. I get somebody's right here. I get the loan on I don't know, but the phone went. The phone went, and I did. The other time, like about thinking but so when I'm in VAR, I play Sunday soccer, over 40.
Okay.
So I play the Machita, Booking, Chapville, and the likes. So Negitswa ground driving my Golf 5, and then check I said Mira overtake, there's a car overtake, like besa. So I'm Kimushasha Street in Sibuke. Like I'm the robot in just before the hospital. Somebody steps out of the car, Mrauman, like I said Mira, Uchere Ganyo steps out of the car, and then I send the Ganyak. So so that was that. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that is hi. It must have been scary. That's all I can say.
No, it's not what you want to go through. Yeah.
Oh, that is Timo. Thank you so much for this conversation.
Yeah.
It was very, very interesting. It was emotional, it was inspiring, it was funny, it was fun, it was all sort of things.
Yeah.
We've come to the end of our episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Facebook and on TikTok. Our username on all platforms is Unboxed and Unfiltered. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Mahlodi Macheta. I'm with Ntate Sidimu, and it is bye for now.
7 Up and then you just smile. I like it like